This is a very common problem for many producers, and really something that I struggle with too. Unless you're, a professional producer producing on a high level, you probably have this problem to some degree. To create a professional production from start to finish by yourself, meaning you doing the entire production process, coming up with the idea, refining the idea, mixing it, mastering it, it's incredibly difficult. Each one of those things that I talked about, each can take years to become proficient at. Really just writing songs, coming up with melody ideas, just engaging in musical passages. That in itself can take a long time to hone that skill. There are a bunch of tutorials online, just different courses that you could take, and you can go down a whole rabbit hole and spend all your producing time that you have just working on creating musical passages, meaning coming up with chord progressions, harmonies, melodies. And that's just one part of the production process. What about the arranging part of this? What about the mixing part of it? What about the sound design part of it? Again, all these different sections have their incredibly deep topics and can take you just years to really become proficient at. And when producers, intermediate, and especially beginners, they're working on tracks, they don't have competencies in all of these areas. If you are just good at sound designing, that does not mean you can make a professional song. What about the writing? What about the mixing? If those don't work together with your sound design, you're not going to have a professional track. But you spent all your time with sound design. You spent just years working on sound design, watching tutorials, just really trying to hone in on the sound design. That's why it's so difficult, because each of these sections takes so much time to become more proficient at, that you're really spreading your time across all these different competencies, all these different areas of music production. And it can be quite frustrating, because if one part of that chain is not working, if you're not that proficient at one part of that production process, your production might not be professional. You could have great ideas, but if it's not mixed that well, then it's really not going to be, a solid professional production. Time and patience, I guess, is the moral of this story here. You're not going to become a professional producer in a couple of years. It's just not going to happen. Everyone wants to have a professional production right now that they can get to, but it's going to take time. That's really it. It's continual work on your music productions in the different areas of the production process is what is going to finally allow you to create a professional song. So don't get discouraged if you're not quite there yet, especially for beginning producers. You will improve, you will get better. And again, even for intermediate producers, I still have problems with this. I think one of my weaknesses is just writing compelling musical passages, melodies, harmonies, chord progressions. I still find that to be a little bit of a weakness of mine. I've been producing for 7 years. So it's really just spending the time, putting in the hard work to improve. There's so many YouTube tutorials out there to learn all of this. You just need to take time to find these tutorials, put them into practice. I get so many emails all the time saying, oh, what's a good tutorial for this? What's a good tutorial for that? I'm like, have you looked at YouTube? And they're like, no, I haven't looked at YouTube yet. Spend the time.